What is going on? The Catch fam, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal, man. I hope you guys have all had a great week, and I hope you guys are ready for week 2 of the 2023 NFL season, for week 2 of the fantasy football season. Week 1 long gone, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Already entering the second week of the season. Incredibly excited to be here with you guys today. You know what we're getting into? Fantasy Q&A. We've got about 2 hours till the first games of the day start. So anything you guys need, starts, sits, trades, roster confidence, roster non-confidence, injury reports, weather reports. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk some fantasy football. So let me make sure I've got everything set up here. And then let's go ahead and start with the weather report, because I haven't looked at it at all. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And then we'll kind of go over some of the updates in terms of injuries and things like that. And then we'll go rolling right into the chat after that. So hope you guys are doing great today. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe on the way in. All we do here is free fantasy football content all year round, redraft, dynasty, and best ball. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like on the way in. It helps the stream. And most importantly, guys, please get in the live chat. Let me know anything you guys need. Let's get into it today, okay? All right, let's see here. Weather report. Okay. Packers at Falcons. That's a dome stadium. Raiders at Bills. Cloudy. Ravens at Bengals. Cloudy. Small chance of precipitation in those games. Nothing to really worry about. Let's see. We got dome game for the Hawks at Lions. Colts at Texans. Same thing. 34% chance of rain in the Chiefs at Jaguars game. I'm not really too worried about that, but that is a factor, of course. But I mean, still a relatively low chance of rain. So I wouldn't be too scared about that game not turn into a good high scoring affair. Bears at Bucks, 30% chance of rain. No significant impact is expected, though. I mean, we'll see what happens, though. 2% chance of rain. Chargers, Titans, we should be good there. Clear skies. Dome stadium for the Giants at Cardinals. Dome for the Niners, Rams. Dome for the Jets at Cowboys. Partly cloudy. 0% chance of rain for the Commanders at Broncos. Dolphins, Patriots. 5% chance. We should be good there. Saints at Panthers, 0% chance. Browns at Steelers Monday night, as well as the Saints Panthers, of course, 1% chance in that game. So overall, we look pretty good. I mean, the highest chance of weather impacting a game today is the Chiefs at Jaguars, but I don't want to freak out over that. So we should be good there. But there's your weather report. A lot better than last week. And that's the good news, I suppose. All right, so if you guys need the weather report, I'll have that pulled up throughout the stream. So let's take a look at the news for the day, because, you know, last night's stream, we went over a lot of what ifs around specific players. And, you know, if they were going to be in our starting lineups this week or not. And then we got a lot of those questions answered, like right as I was, you know, getting off the stream. So let's go ahead and roll through some of the injury updates here, okay? DeAndre Hopkins is expected to play against the Chargers, and in my opinion, he is a must-start play. He's just has a great matchup. This Chargers pass defense against the wide receiver last week was awful. I mean, let's see here. The Chargers come in as the worst team in the league in week 1 against the wide receiver position. Now, a lot of that had to do with Tyreek Hill, but I expect a good bit of that to roll over. So D-Hop, good to go. He should be in your starting lineups, okay? Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are not expected to play against the Falcons. So Christian Watson, you're probably planning on him not really being part of your lineup because he wasn't part of your lineup last week. So that shouldn't impact you too much. The Falcons defense, not awful, but they were 19th against the running back position in week 1. A.J. Dillon, decent RB2 play. You know, you don't want to be like just starting him because Jones is out, but he's still a pretty good play moving into the day. Watson, it sucks. Just imagine keeping Christian Watson as your 14th round keeper over Amon-Ra as a 5th round keeper. I'm kind of regretting that. But this does help Romeo Doubs. I think Dobbs is a pretty solid play today. But the Falcons were good against the wide receiver position in week 1, so keep that in mind. And like I think AJ Terrell gets swept under the rug quite a bit. He is a good starting corner. So Brandon Cooks not expected to play, should not be an option for you guys. Mark Andrews is expected to play. Got a report from Ian Rappaport that the Falcons will continue to split carries between Bijan and Algier. I think they are both good starts today. Okay. Chase Claypool is active today, if anyone cares. Roschon Johnson is expected to have a bigger workload today with Donta Foreman listed as a healthy scratch. That's a little interesting. But, the Bears going up against the Packers today. The Bears are going up against the Buccaneers today. I'm sorry. It's okay matchup, I guess. They were 15th against the run in week 1. And I don't know. I mean, most of that had to do with that touchdown that Madison scored. So we'll see. But Roschon / Herbert, a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to say concern, but we'll just have to see how the split looks. But I do like Roschon today. Like, do I want to start Roschon Johnson over like guys that we know what their workload looks like? Not really. But does he look like a decent start today? Sure. Why not? All right, ladies and gentlemen, anything that you guys need, please let me know. And let's not waste any time today. We wasted 6.5 minutes. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Start sits, injuries impacting your roster, whatever it is, guys. Let me know. Fantasy Q&A time. You know what it is. Let's get into it. All right. Lex, what's going on? Good to see you. Hello. Hope you're doing fantastic. Good luck to you this Sunday as well. Bryce, what's up, my guy? Start tune PPR. Kelly, Burks, Bourne, JSN. So I'm not really big on Kelly today. I know a lot of people are, and I'm just kind of expecting him to get or to have an Austin Eckler stat line. And this Titans run defense is not the Miami Dolphins run defense. I really, really want you guys to be cautious of that. But out of these options, I probably do go Kelly. Like, I still think he has a decent day. I just don't think his ceiling is super high. So I think Kelly's fine if you need to start him. And then Burks is kind of tempting here because it is a really good matchup for Burks. And I think Burks actually benefits from D-Hop being on the field, less defensive pressure. So, Burks was a little banged up throughout the week or whatever. And ultimately it's a good matchup, but there's just a lot of risk on a week-to-week basis with Burks. He didn't get a lot of he only got 3 targets in week 1. So I think Burks is fine purely due to the matchup. But if you don't like it, I think you go Kendrick Bourne because, he got enough targets in week 1, and ultimately it's a really good matchup against the Dolphins. So I might go Bourne, but Burks is going to be one of these players who I think is just kind of a boom or bust guy on a week-to-week basis. So he could boom this week. It's a good matchup is all. I wouldn't go JSN out of these options. Not yet. Lex, White, Hall, DJ Moore, sit 1. I still think there is some upside to Breece Hall this week, believe it or not, but I'd probably sit him out of these options. I think Rachaad White has a good day against the Bears. I like him. I think he's a great start. I know he was really disappointing in week 1. I think he'll be better here in week 2. But I go DJ Moore, give him a shot. Had Gier on him last week. It was a rough game. Rough day for the Bears offense. We'll see what happens today against the Bucs. I mean, the Bucs caused some turnovers in week 1, but the Vikings wide receiver still played well against them. TJ Hawkinson played well against them too. Madison didn't have a bad game either. Like, they just caused turnovers and kind of kept it lower scoring in the first half of the game. But I think White has a good day. And I like DJ Moore as well. I like that matchup in general for fantasy today. David, what's going on? Judy or Dotson, Higbee, Laporta, or Kincaid? So I go Dotson. I think Judy's okay. Dealing with coming back from a hamstring injury is slightly worrisome, but I think Dotson's okay. I've argued for Dotson all week long. Was disappointing in week 1, but led the team in targets in week 1. When we look at week 1 and what happened to the Raiders, right? In terms of the Broncos, defensively, they strapped up Devontae Adams, had Pat Surtain on Adams all game, And then Jacoby Myers was loose as anything, scored 2 touchdowns. So, I think this, looking at week 1 at least, small sample size, but I think that this game plan could definitely benefit the Broncos as a whole. So, or excuse me, the Commanders as a whole, if we look at what the Broncos did in week 1. So for me, I go Dotson. I think he's a good start this week as like a wide receiver 2 flex option. Let's kind of see what happens with Judy. I mean, I just feel like anytime the Broncos play, I don't expect a lot of points. Like Broncos Commanders just feels like kind of how week 1 for the Commanders Cardinals went, like a low scoring game. So, but I actually think, I don't know, I have a weird feeling that game could be a little bit higher scoring today. But yeah, I go Dotson out of the 2. Higbee, Laporta, or Kincaid. I mean, like I've been kind of saying it since, entering week 1. So we've had so many injuries to the tight end position. When we get into this range of tight ends, it's like whoever scores a touchdown is going to outscore the rest of them. If no one scores a touchdown, then it's a close call. But I don't really like Higbee today against the Niners. I don't like hate him necessarily. It's just anytime we go up against the Niners, it's like odd. I mean, the Niners were really bad in week 1 against the tight end position for what it's worth. They were 27th overall. So I go Higbee, I guess. I don't really worry about Higbee. I mean, he didn't get as many targets as I would have liked to see in week 1. And we know Puka's playing now, Tutu's out there. So I don't know. I still go Higbee, but Laporta is sneaky against the Hawks. They were 26 against the position in week 1. So not a bad option as well. Who do you like more is the question. Laporta could see more volume. You have 5 targets, 5 receptions, if I'm not mistaken, in week 1. I like both, though. I wouldn't go Kincaid, though. It's a good enough matchup, but I think Higbee or Laporta are better options. Tucci, what's up, my guy? Playing you in the Catch Fam League 4 going to be interesting once again without Cup. Uh-oh. Good luck, man. I checked all my lineups this morning at the gym. Giving it my best shot. So good luck, man. Hope you have a good matchup. David, what's up, man? Running backs, Bijan, Gibbs, Cook, Hall. Wide receivers, Olave, Judy, Watson, Dotson. Tight end, Kincaid, Laporta, Higbee, full PPR. What trade should I make? I want a better wide receiver 1 or 2. I mean, you want to kind of sit back and see who has a good day today. Like, I like your running back room a lot, but maybe Cook coming off a big game today can be like a sell high opportunity for you. Wide receiver wise, I mean, and even like if you don't really want the thorn in your side, you could try and package Watson and probably upgrade that way. Maybe Hall becomes like a sell low and you package him with Watson and you still get a good upgrade. There's still upside presented with those guys, but I don't think you're going to get much for the tight end position there. Probably don't need to roster all 3 tight ends either. Could probably move on. I mean, if there's a team that needs a tight end, then you can certainly package one of those guys too. Like I think any of those guys are fine to trade having all 3 of them. With Cooks and Watson out, it's been a rough 2 weeks of the season already. What's the move at flex PPR? Mostart, Gallup, Woods, Roschon, Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin's interesting, but I don't want to throw him out there just yet. But let's see if there's an update. I haven't checked on CJ Stroud yet. He's expected to play. Okay. And I might go Bobby Trees. Like, I don't really think he has a high ceiling, but I don't really hate him necessarily. Mostert's probably okay, but it's kind of a tough matchup. The Patriots didn't play great defensively in week 1, but Dolphins are it does. I don't know if it really matters. I mean, they're at Foxborough, so I'd probably go Woods, Roschon, then Mostart. I think Roschon's gonna have a good game, actually. Derek, what's up? Danny Dimes, Jones, or Jordan Love? I think all these guys are great, like streaming option tier quarterbacks. So Danny Dimes is probably okay. I just don't really know what to think out of Daniel Jones. I think this could be a big bounce back game, though. So the Cardinals were 21st against the position in week 1. Mac Jones, I think, is really interesting. The Dolphins were 29th against the position in week 1. And I don't mind Jordan Love at all. So, I mean, the Falcons were 7th against the position in week 1, but that was, Bryce Young in his first start. So, I mean, all these guys are perfectly fine to me, but I might go mac and cheese just due to the matchup. I don't know. Do we want to trust Mac Jones that early? I mean, Jordan Love's going to go out there and sling it, but he's kind of limited, without Aaron Jones, without Christian Watson. Daniel Jones feels like the sneaky option. Mac Jones, based on matchup, feels really nice, though. What do you think? Chat, let me know what you guys think about that one. Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, or Jordan Love. Scott, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Thank you for the dono. Appreciate you, man. What a guy. Full PPR, 2 flex. Justice Hill, Roshan Johnson, Jaden Reed, or Hollywood. So I'm really leery of the Ravens running backs here in week 1. I don't feel fantastic about them. I mean, it's not like a phenomenal matchup per se. I mean, all it's going to take is for one of them to score a touchdown. But I think Gus Edwards is going to get involved. And I think, unfortunately, Melvin Gordon is probably going to get involved because, I mean, let's just face it. This is what the Ravens do. I'd never trust the Ravens backfield. I mean, J.K. Dobbins was one thing. But yeah, now that we have an injured running back again, historically, they just split carries all over the place. So I don't really like him this week. I would not start Justice Hill, but I would start Roshan Johnson. He's got an interesting opportunity today. I think he brings a little bit more upside overall. So I think he is perfectly fine to go ahead and roll out. And Jaden Reed could be intriguing as well. But I think I'd go with Hollywood Brown. I mean, the Giants were 16th against the position in week 1. He had 5 targets week 1. None of these options are great, but I'd probably go Roshan and Hollywood. I think they give you the safest floor. What do you think, man? Chat, let us know. For Scott, who would you guys flex here? Full PPR. Justice Hill, Roshan Johnson, Jaden Reed, Hollywood. Scott, thank you for the super chat as well. Appreciate you, man. Hope that was helpful. Terrell, Dotson, or Hall? I mean, I go Dotson. I don't think Breece Hall is the worst this week. He's doomed, like some people think. I'm like, Garrett Wilson is completely doomed, but it is a bad matchup. We have to be realistic. So I go Dotson. I like him today. George, what's up? Puka, Collins, London, Sanders, White. Pick 2 full PPR. Need to pick at least one running back. I like Rachaad White. I mean, a lot of people are going to say Sanders, which I think is okay. I just think White has a higher ceiling. So I'm a fan of Sanders today. So, I mean, Sanders are okay. I'm a fan of Rachaad White today. The Bears were 30th against the running back position in week 1. I think Rachaad White's going to bounce back today. I would put some faith in Rachaad White. I would. We look at Miles Sanders. I mean, the Saints were only 20th against the run. So, I mean, but they did face Derrick Henry in week 1 for what it's worth. But I go Rachaad White. I like him a lot today, especially in full PPR. I think he could have a really good game. I'd probably go Nico Collins. I mean, Puka's okay too, but I'd probably go Collins. Really good volume in week 1. Stroud's going to be out there, and the Colts are not good against opposing wide receivers. Okay. I mean, Ridley, Jones had a day. Ingram played well. Kirk disappointed us. I mean, Jaguars are not the Texans, but I guess the Texans aren't the Jaguars, but you get what I'm saying. I'd probably go Collins. Really, really good volume in week 1. If you're worried about the Stroud shoulder thing, then you go Puka. The only reason I'm not saying Puka is because I don't know. It could get ugly at the end of the day because the Niners are involved. But if you like Puka over Collins, that's fine. But if you need to go running back here, I go Rachaad White. Terrell, Musgrave or Ferguson? I like Musgrave more. I like Musgrave today. So when we look at the matchup today, the Falcons were 30th against the tight end position in week 1. Go Musgrave. The Jets were 19th. I mean, we don't want to go too much based off of week 1, but yeah, I still go Musgrave. Don't forget he dropped that touchdown, so he would have had a really big week 1 if not. And plus, we know Watson's out and Jones is out. I'll go Musgrave. Scott, what's up, man? Start one full PPR, Hill or Roshan Johnson? Roshan Johnson. For a second, I was like, what? Tyreek Hill or no? Justice Hill. Guys, it does help. I mean, that one's pretty easy to figure out, but just make sure if you guys have a player who might have the same last name as another player, maybe just put at least the first initial. But no, that would have been a question if it was Tyreek Hill. So you're fine. Yeah, I go Roshan Johnson. Good opportunity today. AJ Dillon over Pacheco. I mean, if you want to, I like Pacheco this week, but I kind of like him every week just as a safe floor option. Like I don't see a high ceiling for him, but I still like him. When we look at Dillon, the Falcons were 19th against the run. When we look at Pacheco, the Jags were actually number 1 against the run in week 1, but they played a bad team in the Colts. So do what you want with that information. Or excuse me, what am I saying? Oh yeah, the Jaguars were number 1. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I think Dillon's okay. I think Pacheco's okay. There's not really a determining factor. Maybe we see more points scored in the Chiefs game. Maybe go Pacheco, but I think Dillon's just as well. I mean, guys, let me know in the chat. What do you guys like more here, AJ Dillon or Pacheco? I think both are perfectly fine. Lex, Josh Kelly or Nico Collins? I go Nico Collins, full PPR. Stroud's expected to play. Good volume week 1. Good matchup. Josh Kelly, bad matchup against the Titans. David, what's up? 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, half PPR. Flowers, Dobbs, Johnson, Moss, Kyron Williams. I go Flowers and Dobbs. If you don't like Dobbs today, AJ Terrell, then go Roshan Johnson. But I'm not starting Zach Moss, even in a good matchup. I'm just not there when there's better names. And Kyron Williams, a bad matchup as well. He could both those guys could have a chance to have a good day, but it's half PPR, so you can factor that in, I guess. But I still go Zay Flowers, and I might risk it with Romeo Dobbs, depending on the rest of your lineup. Like if you feel good about your rest of your lineup, can maybe take a risk. But Roshan Johnson, I think, is a good start today. So hopefully he doesn't suck. Decide what's up. Start or sit 1. Pollard, ETN, Kelly, and Dillon. I sit Josh Kelly. You're not sitting Pollard. You're not sitting ETN. There's no doubt there. I mean, if you like Kelly over Dillon, I think that's okay. The worst matchup here is Kelly, though. Asen Clark Kent, what's up? Half PPR, pick 1. Puka, Sutton, Nico. I like Nico today a lot. It's just a good matchup. He had a really good overall volume in week 1. If you like Puka more, I think that's okay. I just worry about this matchup when we're looking at what the Niners can do defensively. I mean, their secondary isn't fantastic, but I don't know if that's going to matter. It didn't really matter last week, right? Puka's okay. Nico's good as well. Sutton's probably last on the list for me, but he could have, he had good opportunities in week 1. Could have some opportunities against this Washington secondary. Plus, I think Judy being on the field helps him. So, but I like Nico today. If you're worried about the Stroud injury, then you could go with one of the other guys, though. Craig, Pacheco or Connor? I think Connor's fine, and I think once again, with Pacheco, like both these guys are just safe floor players. Like the upside doesn't really due to matchup here. I'm not in either direction. Maybe more garbage time points potentially for Connor. Maybe more of a competitive game script for Pacheco though. Let's see the Giants in week 1. Let's see. They were 26 against the run, but that was Dallas. I might go Connor here, actually. I think I go Connor. Oh, sorry. DJ Moore or Flowers. That's tough. You drafted DJ Moore for a reason. I like today's game script. I think you fire him up, but I really like Zay Flowers. If you don't feel good about the Bears offense, Justin Fields, passing offense, week 1, whatever, then I think you can go Zay Flowers. I like Zay Flowers a lot this week, but Shane, what's up, my guy? Aaron Jones is out today. He is out. Not playing. JSC, who would be your 3 set and forget players this week outside of big names? Who put me on the spot? Well, let's take a look at some names that I do like this week overall. I like Mike Evans a lot. I think he's going to have a good game. Obviously looked good in week 1, gets a really soft matchup today. Overall, I mean, the Bears not good against wide receivers, running backs, or anything. So I like him today. I think I like Metcalf today. I don't know if that's too big of a name. I think enough people question him. But I like Ramondre Stevenson a lot. I like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. I like Rachaad White a lot against the Bears. We want to exploit this Bears defense right now until they prove something else. I think Najee Harris is going to have a good game as well. Call me crazy. I think he's going to have a decent game, though. So there's a couple names. Hopefully those weren't too big of names. All right, so let's see. All right. Smokey, what's up, dude? Excited to see Kansas City versus Jacksonville. Should be a good game. Also hoping for a Burrow comeback. Played versus Kirk this week. I need those points. Yeah, big game for Kirk. Big game. Hope Burrow has a good game for you too, man. Olrak, what's up, my guy? Start 1, K9, Jones, or White. Well, Jones is not playing. Jones is out, guys. I think Kenneth Walker is fine. I think you get more upside, but more risk with Rachaad White. If you want the floor play, go Kenneth, though. Bijan and Gibbs, I think we'll both have good weeks for sure, Smokey. White or Algier, I probably still go Algier here, but White is fine too. Tommy, what's up? 4-man healthy scratch. Am I rolling Johnson over Bourne in my flex? Expected to see a good workload. Was reading on Yahoo. Herbert's about to lose his job. Yeah, I mean, I think Roshan's fine. But, if it's full PPR, you might still want to consider Kendrick Bourne. I still prefer to flex a wide receiver. But, Kendrick Bourne could end up being really consistent this year, be a guy that we start playing against soft defenses like the Miami Dolphins tonight. Or he could be just a week 1 wonder. Like, it's kind of a tough spot. So if you like Roschon Johnson, I think it's perfectly fine. I think he's a good play today. Tyler, what's up, my guy? Benching Cooper this week for injury, but do I start Godwin, Pierce, or drop Kareem Hunt? You should absolutely drop Kareem Hunt for Judy. Yeah, that shouldn't even be a question. I mean, Kareem Hunt's not even on a team. Yeah, you should absolutely pick him up for Judy. But are you starting Judy? Not necessarily, but you should definitely do that. And then I would start Godwin. Yeah, Godwin, a soft matchup against the Bears. He should have a good day. So start Godwin, but drop Hunt for Judy, 100%. Full PPR, Collins or Brian Robinson. Full PPR, James, I'd probably go Collins. With Stroud expected to play, good matchup, I go Collins. If you're worried about Stroud, you can go Brian Robinson. He's probably a safe floor play. Gets Denver. Denver finished, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, Denver was 5th against the running back position. The Commanders were 4th. So, that game doesn't feel great for running backs. I'd probably go Collins overall. Ballistic, what's up? Full PPR, pick 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Bijan, Gibbs, Jamal Williams, Kelly, Olave, Waddle, Ayuk, Judy. What? Oh, gosh. I mean, you go Bijan and Gibbs. That's easy. I like Jamal Williams a lot today. But you still go Bijan and Gibbs. And no, you don't start Josh Kelly over these guys. I'm sorry. 2 wide receivers, Olave and Waddle, then you're flexing Ayuk. Yeah, these should be easy. Don't overthink this. Judy, let's sit back and see what happens. First game back. Should be a lower scoring game. You're not starting Kelly or Williams over Bijan, Gibbs, Olave, Waddle, or Ayuk. Yeah. Roll out the guys you drafted high with confidence. I mean, yeah, Bijan, Gibbs, Olave, Waddle, Ayuk, all smash plays. You should feel really good about that lineup. Andrea, good morning. Hope you're doing fantastic. Goff or T-Law? Once again, I go T-Law. Goff is a good streaming option, but if you own a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, you don't overthink it. You own T-Law, Herbert, even like Fields, Lamar Jackson. Like, we don't you just can't bench players like that, you know? I mean, it's almost easier, you know, if you had that second streaming option on your bench, just leave him there until the bye week or like in case of injury. Like just start the guy that you drafted high to be your quarterback and try not to overthink it. Cheddarhead, what's up? I got McLaurin, Dylan Pierce, Josh Kelly, and K. Williams from the Rams. Who do I bench? Well, I mean, it depends here. Like, if we're just going 2 running backs, we're going flex. You bench McLaurin against the Broncos and Pat Surtain. I mean, the option I would probably rank these guys: Dylan Pierce, Kelly, Kyron, McLaurin. Maybe McLaurin before Kyron, but I mean, McLaurin bad matchup, Kyron bad matchup, Josh Kelly bad matchup. Dylan and Pierce are the winners here due to matchup. And Dylan probably just due to opportunity, right? If you like Kelly over Dylan, that might be okay, but that's about it. David, should I try and trade for a higher tier wide receiver like Amon-Ra after week 2? I have DK and Devontae. I also have 2 startable quarterbacks in Fields and Watson. I mean, if you can move Watson and or Fields, I think that's okay. I probably don't want to trade Fields just yet. But it depends. You're not going to be able just to trade a quarterback for a wide receiver more than likely. So, I mean, if you're going to tier up and trade like Devontae or DK and a quarterback, you get Amon-Ra, I think that's fine. But, you know, I don't think DK or Devontae are going to have bad years. They just, I mean, DK was fine week 1. Devontae will be okay this year too. I mean, maybe the ceiling's capped, but he'll be fine. Tough matchup. Pat Surtain, probably the most underrated corner in the NFL. Is somebody that we really need to seriously take a look at when we're looking at matchups. But yeah, I mean, if you can get Amon-Ra, you get Amon-Ra. That's fine. Albert, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Rashid or Roshan? Roshan for 4, Shaheed for upside. A little bit risk there, but he has a good matchup. So I think Rashid could have a really good week. I think he could end up burning you, but I like the upside that comes with Rashid. So I think he's perfectly fine if you like him more. Komet or Laporta? I don't mind Komet at all today. Komet was not that bad in week 1. You know, once again, once we get to these tight ends, if they don't score, things get a little murky. But you know, ultimately, I think Komet is like a guy that we can start every week. The Bucks were 25th against the position in week 1, so he's a solid start. And when we look at Laporta, I think he's just fine as well. You know, it just gets tough because, like I keep saying, you know, and the Seahawks were 26 against the position in week 1, so like not much of a difference. So you can kind of roll with whoever you like more or whichever offense you think could end up being more efficient this week. But both are basically neck and neck due to matchup. And I think both are really good options, actually. I could easily see either of these guys outscoring each other. So you kind of got to trust your gut there. Both are good starts. So Cheddarhead got McLaurin. I already hit this. Okay, so you have to bench 2. I would probably bench Kelly and Williams. But like I said, if you like Kelly over Dylan, I think that's okay too. Or I'm sorry, I would bench. You got to bench 2. I would bench McLaurin and I would bench Kyron Williams. Yeah. I mean, Kyron just a tough matchup against the Niners, and McLaurin a bad matchup against the Broncos and Pat Surtain. So I start Pierce, Dylan, and Kelly. DeAndre Swift, what's good, bro? No questions because Swift already won me already. But yeah, I like James Cook a lot today. You know, I mean, the Raiders were better against the run in week 1 than I think some people realize. They're right in the middle of the pack at 17th overall. But I still like Cook this week. His usage was promising in week 1, and it is a better matchup than the Jets. It should be a better game script too. So yeah, Cook's a good play today. Pitts or Musgrave? I mean, right now I go Musgrave. I'm not really a Kyle Pitts guy, like outside of his rookie year. But even then, I wasn't drafting him a lot because it was too steep of a price. Last year, I wasn't drafting him because it was too steep of a price. This year, I actually considered it, but yeah, like, and until we see this offense, and they might have to throw the ball more today. They probably will compared to last week against Bryce Young led offense. But yeah, I go Musgrave. It's a really good matchup. And overall, I mean, if he actually catches that touchdown last week, he's one of the highest scoring tight ends of week 1. So I go Musgrave. Romeo Dobbs in for Amari Cooper. I think that's fine. Yeah. I mean, he is a tough matchup. AJ Terrell, but he's fine. If anyone is in deep league, start Emmanuel Wilson. There we go. There's a call for today. How deep are we talking, though? It's the true question. I'm in a 16-teamer, but I don't know if I need to get this deep yet. All right, let's see. Who do I start at wide receiver and flex in full PPR? What's going on, Brooks? Waddle, Mike Williams, Gibbs, or Connor? I mean, it's really hard to set Waddle. I think you have to start him, and I really like Mike Williams this week, but I really like Gibbs. I mean, Connor's the odd man out. I think Connor's fine, but not against names like this. Man, that's tough. I go Gibbs, though. I go Gibbs and Waddle, but I really like Mike. I mean, this is tough. This is really hard. I really like Mike Williams this week as well. Like a lot. It's an incredible matchup. But maybe you're concerned about Mike Williams' health. You go Waddle and Gibbs. Gibbs has a great matchup. He's going to get more touches this week than last week. Waddle's just so hard to sit. Maybe you don't like Waddle against the Pats. You go Mike Williams and Gibbs. Chad, who would you sit? Got to sit 2. Waddle, Mike Williams, Gibbs, Connor. Tough. Joe, what's up, my guy? Good luck to you today. Mr. Forte. I have B-Rob. Also have Hall, Algier, Dylan. Who do I start? Probably Algier. I mean, I don't think we're going to see that split change this week, and it's a good matchup. I go Algier, Hall, then Dylan. Feeling Dobbs over Mike Williams with everyone out for the Packers. I mean, that's okay. I would start Mike Williams, though. I like Dobbs a lot, and I do think we don't want to, like, underestimate, I mean, Jordan Love really likes him, but we also don't want to underestimate what the Falcons' number 1 corner can do. So I might go Mike Williams. The matchup's great. Everlast, what's going on? Lineup is Mahomes, Smith, Allen, Thomas, Henry, Pacheco, Komet, McLaurin. Do I start Thomas over Hopkins? No. Hopkins should be in your starting lineup. The matchup's too good to ignore. If you like Thomas, that's fine, but you could bench McLaurin. I mean, I do always bring up the fact that good wide receivers can play well against good cornerbacks. Like that's what makes them good wide receivers, and like they can always have a chance to score a touchdown. Sometimes you get a look where the number 1 corner is on a different wide receiver for the play, especially near the red zone. That can happen. So maybe the safety is supposed to come over and help. But I still think McLaurin has a really bad matchup against AJ Terrell. But D-Hop didn't really struggle full PPR. I mean, he had 13 targets, which is really promising. 7 receptions, 65 receiving yards. Could have been better. But this is a softer matchup. The Chargers, the worst team in the league against wide receivers in week 1. Once again, Tyreek Hill. But yeah, I say start Hopkins over McLaurin. Hopkins is pretty much a must start this week. Tunsil is out. Would that hurt Houston's passing game? Probably, but they're playing the Colts, so I'm not too worried about it. They're going up against like a team with better front 7 than we. I mean, it probably will. I mean, Tunsil is a big loss for this team, but yeah, I'm not worried about it against the Colts. Bully, what's up, my guy? What do you think of my team now? Lamar, Jacobs, Kenneth, Adams, Olave, Ridley, Higbee. Looks great. Yeah. I would feel pretty good about that squad. Do you trust Breece Hall? If you don't have better options, I think he's okay. That's about it. I don't think Breece Hall's doomed. The matchup is just bad. I don't think Garrett Wilson's doomed. The matchup is just bad. That's what it boils down to this week. So, yeah, I think it just depends on who you have at the end of the day. So, if you don't have better options, I think you can roll him out. Like, I don't expect him to have a major day by any means, but I think he could have a perfectly fine low ceiling day. But it's just the matchup, against soft matchups. Breece Hall is still going to have good games this year. Dirty Money, what's up? Start MT, Zay Flowers, or McLaurin. I will go Zay Flowers. MT's okay, but I like Zay Flowers more. I go Flowers, Thomas, then McLaurin. CPAT rolled inactive. That's good for anyone worrying about that, but I wasn't worried about Bijan or Algier, but it is good. Now we don't have to worry about it at all if you were. So thank you, Tommy, for the update. Let's see here. Pick one, PPR, Monty, Pierce, Hall. Monty, yeah. I mean, low ceiling for Monty on a weekly basis, but in soft matchups against teams like the Seahawks who have a bad run defense, you start him. Pierce is interesting, though. DJ Moore or Algier. This is tough. I'd probably go Algier. I'm not like giving up on the Bears offense, but I think in this type of situation, you know, the Packers were really bad against the run, 24th overall in week 1. So I'll go Algier. But DJ Moore, I think, has a good opportunity today. I think he'll be better than week 1. In full PPR, that might come into play, but I think Algier, you kind of want to ride that train until it crashes. So if it does, that is. Everlast, should I start Komet going forward this week since Goddard has been struggling? I think that's fine. I mean, when it comes to tight ends, like, yeah, you kind of got to evaluate, like, if I'm not getting any points, I got to put in someone who's at least give me some points. So you don't want to drop Goddard necessarily, but yeah, you can start Komet for sure. Let's see. Christian Watson officially out. Yahoo not going to roll him out, so I'm put him on IR. Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll change it. I don't know. Keep monitoring it though. So you can pick up that extra defense. Do I start Michael Gallup over Collins? Michael Gallup's not playing. No. And Collins and Jamal Williams are better options either. So nothing to worry about there. What's up, 3 Walketeers? Rashad White or Roshan Johnson? I like Rashad White more. Yeah. I go White, but Johnson, if you like him more, I think is okay. I think it's a good opportunity for both guys, but White has a better matchup. This Bears defense is going to be a defense we start running backs against. I go White. Let's see here. PPR flex Collins, Pierce, Monty, Hall. Full PPR, I go Collins. Good matchup. Good usage week 1. I go ahead and roll him out there. Stroud's playing is the big thing. So Stroud wasn't playing, then we go probably Monty, but I go Collins for now. So let's see here. Hit an X. Good morning to you, bro. Hope you're doing fantastic. Good luck today. Smokey, Kincaid or Muth? I stick with Freiermuth. I mean, maybe Kincaid breaks loose against the Raiders. Freiermuth is just much safer. Lower ceiling, but he's safer. Cash man in the house. Pick 2 full PPR. DJ Moore, McLaurin, Flowers, Pacheco. DJ Moore and Flowers in full PPR. Set McLaurin against Surtain. Pacheco, fine, but full PPR, you want the wide receivers. Matt, Mostart, Puka, Najee, Thomas, Dotson. Need 3. I go Dotson. I go Puka. I go Najee Harris. Yeah. Mostart, okay. Patriots run defense wasn't great last week, but they played the Eagles. He could be okay. Michael Thomas could be okay. But I just think the other names here are a little bit more intriguing. The Panthers were second against the wide receiver position in week 1, but that could have that's kind of a tough read. I wouldn't feed too much into that because the Falcons just didn't throw the football. So, I mean, they targeted their wide receiver one time. So, but still, I go Puka, Dotson, and Najee here. Very disappointed in my Hawks. Praying we turn it around this week, but I don't know. I think we will play to our potential either this week or next. Yeah, I think they'll turn it around. Interesting matchup today, though. Justin, need help for flex. Got Javonte, London, and DJ. I would start DJ Moore out of these guys. It's not a good matchup for Javonte. It's not a good matchup for almost anyone in that game. I mean, Judy, Sutton, Dotson, probably the best starts there. But yeah, Drake London just not promising work in week 1. Then now he gets Jair Alexander. I'm not panicking on Drake London, but it's just not a good matchup. I go DJ Moore, softest matchup. Oh, good. Go get your defense, Tommy. Since I'm benching McLaurin, do I start Mike Thomas or Mike Williams? Yeah, Mike Williams for sure. MT's probably okay, but I mean, he's not injured is the good news. But yeah, I go Mike Williams. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins should all be must starts. This is the type of matchup we look for when it comes to wide receivers. These are two secondaries that are not good, just plain and simple. Maybe they play better than week one, but like until we see it, we have a small sample size, but like I'm still starting players in this matchup. So yeah, I go Mike Williams by landslide. Justin Fields or Tua. What's up, Grail? Yeah, yikes. I like Tua. If you don't like Fields, I think that's fine. Both are really good. I think both are fine options, I'll say. Tua going to Foxborough, a little bit of a tougher matchup. Fields, I think, will play better than last week. Whoever you feel better about is fine here. Zach Moss or AJ Dillon. I mean, I probably go AJ Dillon. The better matchup is for Zach Moss, but I don't feel great about rolling out Zach Moss. Like, I don't know. He could probably score a touchdown, get you like 12 points. But if you like Zach Moss more here, I mean, you are a Colts fan, right? You can go Zach Moss, but I'd maybe go Dillon. I don't know. It's neither completely intriguing. Gino or Goff? I think both are fine streaming options, but I'd probably go Goff. But Gino probably turn it around today. He could be a little sneaky. Thank you for the pick'em video Friday. Yeah, no worries at all. I have 2 slips in for today. So let's see. Get them pulled up for you guys. I put in a second one today because I wanted to do the Tua thing. So let's see. So this is my second slip for today. We got Henry over 1 touchdown in a really soft matchup against the Chargers. We've got Gibbs over 40.5 rushing yards against a soft matchup in the Seahawks. We've got Bijan to score a touchdown, soft matchup against the Packers. Kmet over 3 receptions, soft matchup against Tampa Bay. He hit this last week. I like Kmet at like the 2.5, 3 kind of area for receptions. Then I wanted to enter one with the Tua. I mean, like even if the Tua line doesn't hit, you still get entered in. So this is pretty cool. But Underdog giving away $10,000 to 10 lucky winners who use this Tua totals yards pick. So these are kind of exciting, cool little entry contest things that Underdog is doing this year. So I just wanted one in there. I mean, if you like the lower on Tua, I don't necessarily hate that. I just took the higher because the Patriots defense didn't play great in week 1. My second slip here, we've got Kelsey over 7 receptions. He did that every game last year except for 5. His first game back. I expect points in this game. After week 1's debacle, I expect Kelsey to be involved. So I like that line. Keenan Allen, I think, just has a good day. Soft matchup. So I like his fantasy points. I think he's got a good chance to score a touchdown. Monty, soft matchup against Seattle. She'll get more goal line work than Gibbs. I like him this matchup. Nick Folk had 5 field goals last week. So he'll probably have 0 this week or whatever. But I think it's worth the risk here, taking him in this matchup that I expect points in. Plus Tennessee, kind of one of those teams that isn't great at finishing drives. And then Zay Flowers, I think, has a good game. So I think his line's pretty low. It's about half of what he did in last week's game. You have Mark Andrews coming back. So that could impact things, but I still think it's a good line, and that could even help Zay Flowers. So I feel like all of these are pretty decent, but we'll see what happens overall. So tell you, man, a great game to have put a slip in for was Thursday night's action. Now, I really tend to stay away from Thursday night games, but man, like everything hit except for AJ Brown. Like everything hit in that game. So not ideal, but JSN or Zay Jones, I go Zay Jones personally. I don't know if Zay Jones is going to do exactly what he did last week, but I like this matchup, even if it's looking like it might be a little rainy. And JSN, like I'm not 100% there. Hasn't shown us as much usage as like, I don't know. He had enough targets last week, but Like, he's not really looking just yet like Addison or Flowers is. I'm not out on JSN, but right now I don't want to start him. Izzy, what's up? Najee or Zach Moss? I like Najee this week. Browns pretty soft against the run, and then the Bengals had to stop running the football due to game script. So I still think Najee is a good play. Zach Moss is okay. I mean, it's a good matchup. I just don't feel great about having Zach Moss as a starter in my lineup. That's all. Giants available in my league. I currently have the Ravens. I mean, I'd probably start the Giants defense over the Ravens. Depends on how you feel about the Bengals offense. Do they bounce back or do they suck this year? I mean, I think they'll bounce back. William, quick question. What's up, bro? Last flex spot, Pierce or Kelly? League is a 10-man, half PPR, 2 flex. Starting Mike Williams at wide receiver. Yeah, I would start Mike Williams. If you feel better about Kelly, that's fine, I guess. I would probably start Pierce, though. The Colts were 23rd against the running back position in week 1, so I kind of feel better about that. The Titans are very good against the running back position, and we're good against it last year. I don't feel great about Kelly, but I think he's a decent floor play. Justin, do I start Lockett, Dillon, or Mike Williams? I go Mike Williams. Great matchup. Like I said earlier, guys, I think Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, D-Hop are all must-start guys. Really soft secondaries for both the Titans and Chargers. You fire them up today. What do you think of lineup? Mahomes, Smith, Allen, Hopkins, Henry, Pacheco, Kmet, Mike Williams, Dallas. Looks good. Yeah. You're good here. Maybe you can start someone over Pacheco. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But he's fine. He's a pretty safe floor. No, wait, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. Pacheco's your RB2. That's fine. He's a good floor play. So, yeah, I mean, Mahomes, Smith, Allen, Hopkins, Henry, Pacheco, Kmet, Mike Williams, Dallas looks good. Good luck, Smokey. I hope he hit. I didn't hit anything in week 1, so good luck, man. I feel pretty decent about those slips, though. Someone will come up short. Diego, Kelly, Michael Thomas, or Mostart. I mean, I might go Kelly in this situation. And PPR, yeah, I'm not really crazy on Michael Thomas. If he scores, he has a good day. But that's kind of the thing with any of these guys. If they score, they probably get you double digits. So whoever you think has the best chance to score. But the Patriots defense kind of hard to read right now because they didn't play great in week 1, but they played the Eagles. I mean, they're at home. Mostart probably punch one in. I don't know. I probably go Kelly. Mari Cooper unlikely to play. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean, kind of my question or my advice to you guys was just go ahead and don't roll out Amari Cooper because you're downgrading significantly at the position. Like Elijah Moore's one thing. I liked him going in this week, whether Cooper was going to play or not. But I think you're if you're waiting till Monday, you're downgrading. Even if you waited and we got the news, before the Saints Panthers game started, then you're rolling out Terrace Marshall, Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin, DPJ. There are some guys there with some opportunities, but yeah, I just think you're downgrading from a wide receiver 2 that you drafted to a flyer guy. So my advice was to go ahead and get him out of your lineup anyways. But good update, Tommy. Thank you. Nick, what's up, bro? Furious with AJ Brown. Yeah, I'm in every league I own AJ Brown and projected to lose. But I mean, you had the holding call on Penny, wiped out a touchdown. Then the second touchdown, I mean, AJ Brown may or may not have caught it, but I would say he probably would have. It was definitely PI, just wasn't called. Trying to push that game into a more competitive game script, if you're asking me. But he had his opportunities, just both plays came up short. So unfortunately. Glad I started Swift in my other leagues. Man, I realized today I benched Swift in one league, but I think I had like Barkley and Stevenson or something. So I'm like, oh, okay. But still. Robert, DJ Moore, Hall, PPR, I'd probably go DJ Moore. I think he'll have better opportunities against the Bucks today. So I go DJ Moore. DJ Moore, Chris Godwin. I go Chris Godwin. I mean, if you own Buccaneers players, I'm probably starting them today. White, Godwin, Evans. I like all those guys. If you're in a deep league, a double quarterback league, a super flex league, and you're struggling, Baker's okay. I think this Bears defense is going to be really bad this year. So, but yeah, I go Godwin in this situation. Musgrave or Kyle Pitts? I go Musgrave. It's a really soft matchup. Had opportunities to have a way bigger game in week 1. Dropped a touchdown. We know Watson's out. We know Jones is out. All these things will benefit Luke Musgrave. So I go ahead and start him. White or Kelly? I mean, people are going to call me crazy, but I like Rachaad White against the Bears once again. I want to exploit this matchup as much as I can. I think Rachaad White's going to have a good day. I think it's a much tougher matchup for Kelly. I go White. Trust your gut. What about Godwin or White? I go Godwin in this situation. Yeah. I mean, I like White a lot, like we just went over, but I still think full PPR, you take the wide receiver, and you go and you start Godwin. But I think both will have pretty good games. Clark Kent, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate the pregame advice. Of course, that's what we're here for, man. Live every Sunday morning. I guess not really morning, but you guys know what I mean. Saturday night. I mean, we're live Monday after Monday Night Football. We're basically live every night except for Tuesday night. I'm not able to make it, which is a pretty big night for fantasy advice, but nonetheless, yeah, man, I enjoy doing this, and I appreciate the super chat. Happy to answer your guys' questions. So appreciate you being part of the community, my guy. Thank you for the super chat. Kelvion, Elijah Moore has been added to my potential start list. This is crazy. Mike Williams, Elijah Moore, Kelly Pickens, Dobbs is all my options. I still go Mike Williams, but I liked Elijah Moore regardless. You know, it's a soft matchup. The Steelers struggled against the position in week 1. I mean, I think you can actually argue that Elijah Moore can struggle more, no pun intended, with Cooper out. I think Cooper being on the field helps Elijah Moore. He still tied the team for the most targets in week 1 with Cooper on the field. So less defensive pressure. But yeah, I still like Elijah Moore. I think he's a good start, but I like Mike Williams too much to bench him here. So I go Mike Williams. If it's just one flex, I would rank these guys: Mike Williams, Elijah Moore, Dobbs and Pickens is really close, but then Kelly. So Coop's out. Watson's out. I don't remember, like, the first year we started the channel was going into 2021. I mean, with the COVID designations, like, we had a lot of things we had to do in terms of not being able to start players and early on as well. But, like, I don't remember a first 2 weeks of the season starting this poorly with injuries. Anyways, start one at wide receiver, one for flex: Dobbs, Bourne, Javonte, Zach Moss. I would start Dobbs in this situation. I'd probably start Bourne, assuming it's full PPR. I don't like Javonte's matchup. I don't trust Zach Moss. I'd probably go Dobbs and Bourne. I'm assuming it's full PPR, so I think those are the best options. Madden Life, PPR Flex, Brees, D-Hop, Ayuk. Happy game day to you as well. I go Ayuk. We're not benching Ayuk. No, I mean, I talked about Ayuk so much in the offseason. Like, top 15 wide receiver. He's so cheap. Over 1,000 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns in our last year. Like, there's no reason to not draft him at his price. And yeah, Ayuk, you just have to start. You know, D-Hop is close here because D-Hop's matchup is phenomenal, and D-Hop's probably in that must-start territory as well with the volume we saw in week 1. So I don't mind him, but I go Ayuk. Yeah. Final answer. D-Hop's a really good start, though. Just found out Texans missing 4 offensive linemen. Also, Stroud coming off shoulder injury. Does this take away value from Nico? Maybe. Still deciding between Nico and Monty and full PPR, Nico and Puka and half PPR. I mean, if you don't feel good about the situation, guys, then I always encourage you guys to go out and trust your gut. If you don't feel good about this situation overall, then don't start Nico. It's still a soft matchup. Like, if this was a bad matchup or just a mediocre matchup, then I'd probably not feel as confident. But this is a good matchup against the Colts at the end of the day. They did not fare well against the wide receiver position in week 1. They were 28th overall. So that's 4th worst in the league in week 1. It's just week 1. I get it. Small sample size. But yeah, I still like Collins. It's just because it's against the Colts. If you don't feel good about it though, then you can go ahead and fire up Monty. I still think he has a good day. I like him a lot as like a RB2 kind of scenario. And I think Puka's okay too. Tough matchup for Puka, so it just depends. But if you don't feel good about it, then go ahead and roll with the guys that you feel good about at the end of the day. Oz, what's good, my guy? Did you sub? So when they hike, you get a dub. Appreciate you, man. David, Kelly, or Dylan? I mean, I think both are fine. I don't see like a crazy high ceiling for either player today. So whoever you feel better about. I mean, I think Kelly's tied to the better offense for what it's worth. But Dylan could get some extra usage with obviously Jones out, but also Watson out. I'm ready for some football as well. Let me know in the chat what game you guys are most excited for today. I think the 1 o'clock window has some pretty decent games. Ravens, Bengals, Hawks, Lions, even Colts, Texans. I'm interested to watch. I want to see what Richardson's going to do today. Bears, Bucks. I want to see if the Bears bounce back. I expect some points in that game. Chiefs, Jaguars. I mean, that's probably the most exciting game of the day overall. Packers, Falcons. I want to see how the Packers look after a strong week 1 performance. And I want to see how the Falcons look after a strong week 1 performance as well. Raiders, Bills. I think the Bills are going to win, but the Raiders were surprisingly better in week 1 than a lot of people thought they would be. So I still like the Bills in that game. But how did the Bills fare after losing in bad fashion in week 1 against Aaron Rodgers-less Jets team? Chargers, Titans, I expect some points in that game, so that should be fun. So I like the 1 o'clock windows. Niners, Rams. I mean, the Niners, I would say, are going to win that game. But the Rams surprised us in week 1. McVay can draw some things up, but historically, Shanahan plays really well against the Rams. So coaches well, I guess we should say. Giants, Cardinals. I actually think this game is really interesting because the Giants coming off such a bad performance in week 1, and the Cardinals were a lot better than we thought they'd be in week 1. Granted, they played Washington, but I think that game is like just really weird to look at. I think the Giants do win, though. It is a home game for the Cardinals for what it's worth. Jets, Cowboys, there's a lot to actually look for in this game. Is it going to be complete disaster for the Jets? Are Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall going to be able to step up against a tough defense? How does Zach Wilson look? There's a lot to really monitor in this game. How do the Cowboys offensive players fare against a really good Jets defense? No matter how we want to look at this team with Zach Wilson as a starter, at the end of the day, this Jets unit has a really good run game. They have a great wide receiver 1, and they have a really good defense. Gosh, it sucks that Rodgers got hurt. Commanders, Broncos, probably the grossest game of the day. But Broncos, week 1, a complete, they just look like how they looked last year, in my opinion. Judy's back. They're at home this week. What are the Broncos going to be this year? God only knows. Dolphins, Patriots. I mean, the Dolphins look like the best offense in football week 1. The Patriots gave up, a lot of points to a good Eagles team. Patriots at home. What can the Dolphins do on the road? I do like the Dolphins in that game. But yeah, fantasy-wise, a lot to look for in that game as well. And the Patriots put up a good amount of offensive points in week 1. The Dolphins did not play great at all whatsoever on defense. So Patriots, what are they going to do today? Saints, Panthers, how does Bryce Young look against a pretty good Saints defense? And how does Derek Carr didn't look great in week 1. What is he able to put together with a pretty good wide receiver core at the end of the day with Olave, MT, and Shaheed? Brown, Steelers. Steelers looked like a hot garbage mess in week 1. How do they fare against a Browns team coming off a strong victory? I think there's actually a lot of good games this week. A lot to look for throughout the week. So should be a good weekend of football. I'm ready for some football too. How are we feeling about the Giants defense over the Bills? I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Bills defense is not that good. That's just the reality. It's they got to pick on Zach Wilson. Okay. then they lost the game. Like the Bills defense is not that great. How many fantasy points did they finish with? Yeah, I mean, they had 6 fantasy points. So, I mean, they had a forced fumble and a pick, but it came down to 6 points. The Giants, we can't really you just need to not look at week 1 at all. You know, the Giants were mediocre last year defensively. Last year, that is. Week 1, we just need to scratch. They have a better matchup. I mean, either Josh Dobbs ends up continuing to be consistent, or, I mean, I don't want to say consistent, but at least doesn't make an incredible amount of mistakes like he did in week 1, or he just folds completely. So I go Giants. J-Dubs, what's up good, my guy? Happy week 2 to you. Tutu or Robinson? I mean, there's problems on both sides here. Like, do we really want to trust Allen Robinson? And it's week 2 and we're already quite starting Allen Robinson. It's like, what is happening? Tutu just has a tough matchup, or else I go Tutu. But it's one where you kind of flip a coin, and whoever you feel better about, you go ahead and roll out. So I'm okay either way, but maybe I go Tutu for garbage time points. Maybe I go Robinson because it's a more competitive game script. Chat, who do you guys like more? Tutu or Allen Robinson? Madden Life. That being said, do I start D-Hop over Wilson? I do like D-Hop's matchup more. I once again, I don't think Garrett Wilson's doomed. I don't think Breece Hall's doomed, but this is just a tough matchup against the Cowboys, realistically. I mean, you have not only Diggs out there corner, but Stephon Gilmore too. And I mean, I liked Alan Lazard as a sleeper going into the year, but that was because of Aaron Rodgers and their chemistry. There's too much to monitor. I'm not really concerned about Lazard or Cobb, adding a ton of upside to this wide receiver room and being great targets, or even Tyler Conklin at tight end, Dalvin Cook, or, coming out of the backfield, maybe as a pass catcher, probably not at this stage in his career. So I probably just go D-Hop and let's sit back and see what happens with Wilson. I mean, even if it's a poor game for the Jets, there's always garbage time, but and Garrett Wilson is a good enough player that he's still going to be a play throughout the year, but it's not really because I'm worried about the Jets. I think they're going to suck on offense. It's because of the matchup. So D-Hop just has a great matchup. So I'd probably roll him out there. Smash the likes and place your bets. John has advice for us all to get. Dang. The poetry today. I like it. Found out Amari Cooper is not playing. I need to start 1.5 PPR. Brown, Dobbs, Pickens. I mean, I like Dobbs overall. I'll probably go Dobbs, Pickens, then Brown. If you don't feel good about Dobbs' matchup with AJ Terrell, he is technically still coming off an injury. He was on a pitch count last week. Then you can go Pickens. Duncan, what's up? Pick one kicker, Younghoe Koo, Nick Folk, Jason Sanders. I mean, this is a good game script for Younghoe Koo. I think he could have a big game if you like him. I think that's fine. But I go Nick Folk. Nick Folk, until further notice, is just a must-start kicker. Dotson or DJ? I probably take Dotson, but I'm not giving up on DJ. I think DJ is fine right here. So I think Dotson could end up having a really good game. I think Dotson's the upside play, maybe more risk in a potential lower scoring game. But if you want to go DJ for a floor, I think that's okay. Drake London or Zach Moss? I mean, I'd probably go Zach Moss in this situation, and I'm not very confident in Zach Moss this week at all. I mean, it's a good matchup for Zach Moss. So if he finds the end zone, then it's a decent stat line. I go for that. And I'm not panicked on Drake London completely, but I don't like this matchup. The one target in week 1 combined with Jaire Alexander having no one else to cover all day long, I would go Zach Moss here. JSN or Zay Jones? I go Zay Jones for now. Caleb, what's up, dude? I go James Cook. I don't really like this matchup. I mean, the Broncos and the Commanders were top 5 last week against the running back position. So I don't really like this game for running backs. If you have to start Brian Robinson, like maybe that's okay. If you have to start Javonte, maybe it's okay. But James Cook is a good option. The Raiders are a little bit better against the run, against running backs than we thought they'd be in week one. Kind of middle in the pack, 17th overall. But James Cook's usage was really good in week one, and I expect the Bills to bounce back today. This game's in Buffalo, so and plus overall, I think Cook is just a better week-to-week start. So I go James Cook. Nick, Fields or Burrow? I mean, Burrow's the floor play. Fields is the risk with the upside. So whoever you feel better about. I mean, Stroud actually threw the ball pretty well against the Ravens in week one for what it's worth. They didn't really finish drives or have the wide receiver play to really make those big plays towards the red zone. So I think Burrow's fine. Like I think Chase and Higgins will be better this week. It's always a good matchup when these two teams play. So maybe the defense folds a bit. This is a tough game to call. Who do you guys like today? The Bengals or Ravens? I think I'm leaning the Bengals, but if the Bengals lose this game, that Ravens team is kind of right in the position they want to be in 2 weeks in at least. But Burrow for Fields is the upside play here. I still think Fields is fine. The Bucs defense a little deceiving, caused some turnovers against the Vikings, but I mean, guys, we just have to remember this Vikings team has no offensive line. I mean, they're going to struggle to run the football at times this year. Kirk is going to get hit a lot. He's going to be under pressure. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, if this team had an offensive line, even with the poor defense, like the Vikings would be so legit because they can throw the football. And Kevin O'Connell's offense, it comes from that Sean McVay tree, right? So, anyways, I think Burrow will be better this week. Whoever you feel better about, I think it's fine. Do you think Breece Hall will play? Yes. Could be limited, but yeah. And Mark Andrews expected to play as well. Yeah, Caleb, the upside play there is definitely. Oh, wait. Sorry. It's probably to this question. Go Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, Shaheed has a good matchup. So go Shaheed. Yeah, he's the best option out of these players as well. We don't want to start a tight end unless it's an absolute stud in that flex spot, which is what I'm assuming this is. I go Shaheed. Dice here, what's going on? Have a big question. Hat PPR, Jamal Williams or Kelly? Ooh. I like Jamal Williams this week. It's a really soft matchup. He had really good volume, 18 touches in week one. I'm sticking by my Jamal Williams call. I think he has a good game this week. I'm sticking with it. The Panthers were the second worst team in the league against the run in week one. You guys didn't see that game. Algier and Bijan ran all over that team. Is Jamal Williams that combo? Is this the same offense as Arthur Smith's? No. But I'm sticking by it. I think Jamal Williams has a really solid game this week. So I'm sticking with him. Kelly is a fine floor play. I'm just not really ultimately too confident in this matchup. It's not a great matchup. So I go Jamal. Chad, who do you guys like more, Jamal Williams or Kelly? Kelly has a good week. You guys are going to hate me. I'm not there. I'm not. Sometimes you got to make these tough calls. It's probably getting vetoed, but I traded Javonte Shaheed in the third for Cup. I mean, see, like me as a commissioner, I'm just like, you guys can live with the consequences. Cup's career could be over. Or he could go back to doing Cooper Cup things week 6 or whatever. I think the trade is fine in Dynasty. Traded Debo and Purdy for Cup. Yeah. I mean, the verdict's still out on what Cup does this year, so don't beat yourself up too much. So I'm going to drop Kamara in Dynasty. How much free agent bidding out of 100 should I drop to get him? 10 team. I mean, it depends on how bad you need running back depth. I mean, in Dynasty, like I don't put as much value on running backs compared to quarterbacks and wide receivers, but Kamara, if you're struggling on running back, you should probably go pretty heavy in on. So Aaron Rodgers is dropping Dynasty. Should I pick him up? I would not drop as much free agent bidding on him. And if you pick him up, he's going straight to IR. So, like, just keep in mind how your roster looks going into the year, how competitive you are. Rodgers, there's actually a rumor now that Rodgers is going to try to return if the Jets make the playoffs. Supposedly, he is going to have some sort of treatment and recovery process leading up to December. That is revolutionary. I read this over the weekend. Kevin Durant was the closest example, coming back from an Achilles, but he had 1 month longer than the timetable that Rodgers has down. And it's a different sport, and Rodgers has had the calf injuries lingering like over a year. It's hard to say, but I just want to put it out there. Supposedly, there's a chance we might actually see Rodgers return if the Jets make the playoffs, which I think they can, at least as a wild card, right? So, anyways, I wouldn't. I mean, it depends on what quarterbacks you have, Caleb. So, you have Hall, Javonte, and Jones. In that case, I probably put a decent amount down. I mean, how much do you think people are going to go in on Kamara? I mean, I'd put like I'd put a decent amount down on Kamara if you're feeling, confident in the rest of your roster. That is Herbert, Johnson, or Samaje. I go Roshan Johnson. Take the risk here. I think he's gonna have a good day. Tristan, how do you feel about it? Yeah, Jamal Williams is a good play today. So I feel good about him. Where does Gainwell stand after the Swift performance? I mean, he's still a player that we want to hold. So,